So today we'll be showing you how I made this beautiful Pinterest inspired two-piece. If this is something you will be interested in learning, keep watching. You are so welcome to Sew Junkies. Today what you need for this tutorial, you need 2 yards of a plain crepe and 1.5 yard of printed crepe of your choice. You need your ruler, your scissors, and your zipper. So the first thing I want to do is to check the side to which this fabric stretches. The side to it is not a fully stretchy fabric, so I have to, even if it has a very little stretch, I'd like to put it at the side. So here I'll just fold into 2 first, and then I'll fold into 4. Just do exactly what I am doing if you are following the tutorial with your fabric already in place. So what I'm doing, you see that the bottom part that is longer is going to be the back. Don't forget, this is how we make most of our trousers here. We don't cut separately unless if it is going to be a pencil trouser. So here I'm just creating a straight base, so I know that I have a straight base to work with. The next thing, I'm marking out 2 inches. The back is going to be longer than the front, to be that 2 inches at that crotch area, so I'm marking that out, and from that point I'm marking out the crotch measurement. The crotch measurement I took, usually I measure, but some people use hip divided by 4 plus 1 inch. So I just measured the crotch length. Here I'm marking out the hip measurement divided by 4. That's 1/4 of your hip measurement. I'm marking it out, and then I'm joining that point, those 2 points together. Then the next thing I'm doing, I'm marking out the thigh measurement, and then I'm just going to draw out my curve on that point. So the next thing I'm doing is I'm taking the half of the hip measurement that I took there, I'm marking it out. Then I'm doing the same thing for the waistline. For the waistline, the purpose of this is so that we'll have a more fitted waistline. This is because this waistline is not elasticated, it has band. So you divide your waist into 4, and then take the midpoint of that 1/4 of your waist and put on either side of that half hip measurement, half hip marked point. Then you join it to the crotch line, just like I'm doing. The next thing is I'm marking the knee length. I'm marking the knee length, and whatever I also have, that hip, half of the 1/4 of the hip measurement that I have there, I'm also taking it to that knee line. The reason is I don't want my measurement to be distributed to one side of my trouser. I don't want it to be distributed to one side of my trouser. It's going to be distributed evenly. So that's it for the hip knee line measurement. The next thing is to take my full length, which is about 45, and then I just mark it out, added the hem allowance, and that was it for that. So what I also used, I still did that 1/8 of an hip, putting it at that point. So that's what I did for that, and I just joined the points together. We don't want our palazzo to be too big. We don't want it to be too big. So that's what I have. So just smoothing out your edges. So the next thing is I marked out 2 inches, and at the knee line I marked out 1.5, and at the hem 1.5 as well. Don't forget, it is a palazzo, it is not fitted. If it was fitted, I would just mark about 1 inch at that bottom. So I'm just connecting all the points using my curve rule where necessary and my straight rule where necessary. So just clean out your any sharp edges, please. You don't need any sharp edges, it will show when you are sewing. So I just cut out that edge, that hem line, so you can see what we have here. The next thing, I'm coming up. You see that first hip measurement that I have for the waist the first time? That's what I'm going to use for that bag, because the bag has that, so that one is going to serve as that for me. So you see what I just did? I didn't add anything extra, neither did I take anything out. So you just cut out the first thing. Since the back and front are together, the first thing I'll cut out the back. The next thing I'll cut out the front. That's how I'm going to be doing the cutting. So please, all the parts marked for back, cut it out first, and then when you are done, take 2 out and then cut out the front. It's that simple. Please don't make any silly mistake that will jeopardize your entire project. Just ensure that you know what you are doing and that you understand perfectly. So please be in the comment section if you have any question, any contribution, any suggestion that might be helpful. So we are done for this trouser. If you haven't separated the front from the back, just do that separation now, and that will be all for the cutting of the front pants. It is really quite easy. Don't forget, we do easy here. And like I always say, until you practice your tutorial, you hardly have any reason to actually comment or say anything about the video. So please practice your tutorial and let's hear it. So we are done cutting the main piece, the trouser. Here we're just cutting out the band. This trouser doesn't have pockets, so we're just cutting out the band, and I'm using about 2.5 inches for the band so that it will just sit well. It will be at the upper tummy region, so it is a high waist trouser. So now we are on for the top. Fold your fabric into 4. Here I'm just marking out my shoulder. Mark out your neckline. I used 4 inches neckline width, and about 3 inches for the front, and 1 inch for the back. 4 inches width, 3 inches depth for front, and 1 inch width. So I'm just marking out the armhole. If you don't know how to do that, please, maybe watching the video will help. But we have basic block tutorial. You please do well to go and watch it. It will be very helpful. The next thing I mark your shoulder to the waist, then your shoulder to 21. That's about your high hip, and then I marked 7 inches more. I don't know if you get. I marked waist, upper thigh, which was about 21, and then I marked 27. That's about 6 inches difference. So that 6 inches difference is what's going to give us that V shape. That V shape in front is what's going. So if you want a longer V shape, you can make it longer, but I just wanted that 6 inches measurement. Then you had your about 1/2 inch seam allowance. So that's, you can see, that was all I did for this top. It wasn't a big deal. It was just easy and straight to the point. So if you've been afraid to make clothes for yourself, keep following us on this channel. There's no way you will not improve. I promise you. If you are following us consistently, practicing our tutorial for 1 month, even you will see the improvement. So separate the back from the front so that you can actually cut out the front neckline like I did, and then you have your top almost as good as ready. So the next thing is to cut the sleeve. What I do all of the time is to actually measure out the armhole measurement, so that it will be easy for me to express that on my sleeve. You know, this is a freehand, it is not pattern cutting, so it is important that you get it right. Not having to cut a sleeve with a shorter armhole, it will actually shorten your entire job. So just mark out as you have measured and make sure you get your measurement. So take the length. So this one I'm going to it is elastic at the bottom. I have elastic at the bottom of this sleeve, so because of that I always had excess of about 2 or 3 inches. Like if your length of sleeve is 22, I had about 3 inches more, so that when after adding your elastic, there's just a little bit of a fall over of the sleeve. I've done it several times and it works. So after I'm done cutting the sleeve, the next thing is to cut out the rope that will be tying the top at the back. That's just what I did here. So please, if you've been watching all this while and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, click on the notification button so that you always get notified when we bring out new videos. So it is something that it's easy for you to sew. It is just a straightforward if you already know how to sew. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate you. Love you. Bye.